Growing up in apartheid South Africa, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination shaped every aspect of life. It meant facing a world that told you every day you were less than, that your worth was diminished simply because of the color of your skin. The signs were everywhere, constant reminders of your place in society. For Nhlanhla Mkwanazi, this wasn't just history learned from textbooks, it was his lived reality, the air he breathed, the ground he walked on. The system was meticulously designed to keep people like him down, to stifle their potential and maintain the status quo of white supremacy. It aimed to limit dreams and opportunities based solely on skin color, dictating where you could live, work, and even who you could associate with. But instead of breaking him, instead of succumbing to the oppression, it forged his resolve, hardening his spirit against the injustices he witnessed. Every act of discrimination, every instance of prejudice became a lesson in resilience and underscored the profound power of community, the strength found in unity. He learned early that justice wasn't just a word in a book, a concept debated in classrooms. It was something you desperately yearned for, a fundamental human right, especially when you'd lived your entire life without it, under the weight of inequality. These experiences didn't just shape his personal ambitions and career aspirations, they gave him a mission, a purpose that transcended personal gain. Mkwanazi's drive wasn't about acquiring titles or wielding power for its own sake. It was about fixing a broken system, dismantling the structures of oppression, and creating a more just and equitable society for the next generation. To truly understand the man he ultimately became, the leader and advocate he is today, you have to start in the townships, the heart of his community, where his unwavering commitment to justice was first born and nurtured. His story isn't just about a career path or a professional journey, it's about a calling, a deep-seated sense of responsibility to serve and protect. The fight against injustice wasn't simply a job to him, a way to earn a living, it was his life's purpose, the driving force behind every decision he made. Every step he took later in his career, every challenge he faced, was guided by the vivid memory of what it felt like to be on the receiving end of an unfair and oppressive system, a constant reminder of the work that still needed to be done. This foundation, built on personal experience and unwavering conviction, made him more than just a police officer enforcing the law. It made him a true public servant, dedicated to the well-being and safety of the community he served. The roots of his leadership, his integrity, and his unwavering commitment to justice were firmly planted in the harsh, unforgiving soil of his youth. Most would run from the system that oppressed them, seeking refuge and a new life far from its reach. The weight of injustice was a heavy burden, one that many understandably sought to escape. But Mkwanazi ran toward it, an act of defiance and courage that set him apart. He chose to confront the darkness, not to be consumed by it. He joined the South African Police Service, a decision that raised eyebrows and sparked debate among his peers. He was determined to change it from within, to be a catalyst for reform in an institution deeply scarred by the past. His vision was to transform the SAPS into a force for good, a protector of all citizens, regardless of race or background. His journey began in the elite Special Task Force, a crucible where he would be tested and forged. It was the sharpest end of the spear, a unit known for its precision, discipline, and unwavering commitment to duty. Here, he faced life-or-death decisions, split-second choices that would determine the fate of others and his own. He was proving that excellence knows no color, that competence and courage transcend racial divides. Each mission tested his courage and leadership, pushing him to his limits and revealing his true character under pressure. He was building a reputation for action, not just words, a leader who led by example and inspired those around him. He wasn't just a tough operator, he was a smart one, a strategic thinker who could analyze complex situations and devise effective solutions. He was earning respect through results, proving his worth through tangible achievements that made a difference in the lives of ordinary citizens. In the task force, he turned his childhood desire for justice into daily practice, transforming a youthful aspiration into a concrete reality. He confronted violence and chaos head-on, never flinching in the face of danger, always putting the safety of others before his own. He was seeing firsthand how crime corroded communities, how it eroded trust and hope, leaving behind a trail of despair. These experiences only strengthened his resolve, fueling his determination to make a difference and to create a safer, more just society. His time in the task force was an apprenticeship in the fight for order and safety, a rigorous training ground that prepared him for the challenges ahead. He saw that a professional, incorruptible police force guided by ethics and integrity was essential for democracy, a cornerstone of a free and just society where the rule of law prevails. For Mkwanazi, policing wasn't just a job, it was a calling, a vocation that demanded sacrifice, dedication, and unwavering commitment. It was a way to build a better country, to contribute to the creation of a more equitable and prosperous South Africa for all its citizens. He believed change was possible, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And he was willing to risk everything to prove it, to put his career and even his life on the line for the principles he held dear. His service was about more than enforcing the law. It was about serving the community, protecting the vulnerable, and upholding the values of justice and fairness. It was about restoring trust between the police and the communities they served, rebuilding confidence in the institutions of law and order. Climbing the ranks in a transforming police service is no small feat. Mkwanazi excelled at every level, moving from the front lines to strategic leadership. He became not just a soldier but a strategist and a manager. His holistic understanding of the police made him invaluable. He knew how decisions in Pretoria affected officers on the ground. What set him apart was his unwavering integrity. In a world where corruption tempted many, he stood firm for the rule of law. His reputation for incorruptibility inspired those around him. He led by example, demanding professionalism and accountability. Rising to national commissioner, he finally had the power to tackle the systemic issues he'd witnessed for years. His journey was proof that dedication and principle could change even the most entrenched institutions. On July 6, 2025, a date that would be etched in the annals of South African history, General Mkwanazi, a figure known for his unwavering integrity and dedication to his country, stepped up to the podium. He adjusted the microphone and spoke a truth few dared to say, a truth that resonated with fear and urgency. He told South Africa, a nation grappling with numerous challenges, that the nation faced not just crime, the petty theft and street violence that plagued its cities, but a powerful, organized threat, cartels, sophisticated criminal enterprises, operating with impunity. His words were clear and direct, no jargon, no evasion, just a stark and honest assessment of the situation. He revealed how criminal syndicates, with their intricate networks and vast resources, had become parallel governments, wielding influence and control behind the scenes, hijacking entire sectors of the economy, crippling legitimate businesses, and stifling growth. These weren't just gangs, these weren't simply groups of thugs operating on street corners. They were sophisticated organizations rewriting the rules, corrupting institutions, and undermining the very fabric of society. He described a nation under siege, not from external forces, but from enemies within, where cartels extorted businesses and sabotaged infrastructure, holding the country hostage to their greed. By naming the threat, by daring to speak the unspeakable, he elevated the conversation to a matter of national security, demanding immediate and decisive action. This wasn't a politician's speech, filled with empty promises and political maneuvering. It was a diagnosis from the country's top cop, a seasoned professional who had seen the rot firsthand. He risked his career and safety to tell the truth, knowing full well the potential consequences of his actions. Refusing to let the crisis remain hidden, refusing to allow the cartels to operate in the shadows any longer. His honesty was a wake-up call, a jarring alarm that shattered the complacency and denial, forcing the nation to confront the scale of the problem, to acknowledge the depth of the crisis it faced. Mkwanazi's courage in that moment, his willingness to stand up against powerful forces, changed the national conversation, sparking a fierce debate about the future of South Africa. He made it clear, the fight was no longer just against criminals, against individual perpetrators of violence and theft, but against a system under attack from within, a battle for the very soul of the nation. Mkwanazi didn't just name the problem, he exposed its roots. He explained how cartels had infiltrated the economy, from construction mafias to illegal mining syndicates. These groups weren't just extorting money, they were crippling development and fueling violence. He showed how illegal mining was a billion-rand industry run by ruthless international syndicates, not desperate individuals. The violence, environmental destruction, and exploitation were all connected to these cartels. Most explosively, he revealed their reach into legitimate institutions, even the police and government. Corruption was shielding these criminals, letting them thrive. The fight wasn't just against outsiders, but against insiders enabling the rot. By connecting the dots, He gave the public a new way to understand the chaos. It wasn't random crime, it was organized, systemic, and deeply embedded. His speech demanded that South Africa confront the disease, not just the symptoms. The impact of Mkwanazi's speech was immediate. Suddenly the nation was talking about cartels not as isolated problems, but as a single, urgent crisis. Politicians could no longer hide behind vague promises. The public demanded real action. His honesty set a new agenda for the fight against organized crime. For honest police officers, his words were a rallying cry, a validation of their daily struggles. It boosted morale, making them feel seen and part of a larger mission. Most importantly, he empowered ordinary citizens. By giving them the language to understand the problem, he armed them with knowledge. People began to see the connections in their own communities. They realized that local violence and stalled projects were part of a bigger cartel network. Knowledge became the first step toward action. An informed public became a powerful force for accountability. Mkwanazi's words didn't just start a conversation, they sparked a movement. General Mkwanazi's story is more than a biography. It's a lesson in courage and integrity. He turned childhood injustice into a lifelong fight for a better South Africa. His leadership showed that true power is about serving others and confronting hard truths. On that July day, he proved that silence in the face of evil is complicity. His example challenges us all. Are we speaking up? Are we standing for truth? Courage is contagious. One voice can inspire many. Even in dark times, his story is a beacon of hope. He redefined patriotism as demanding the best for your country, not just accepting it as it is. His legacy is a call to action. Stand up, speak out, and never give up on justice. The fight for truth belongs to all of us.